So, okay, welcome to day two of the Evergreen Quest. Just a little overview as to where we are now. Yesterday, we covered day one, which was the mapmaker's vision. Today, we're going into the alchemist blueprint. Day three will be all around the queen's visibility. And day four, we'll bring it together. We talk about how we launch Evergreen. Okay, so let's dive right into the Alchemist's blueprint and we turn your expertise into evergreen offers. Again, we're going in with a mindset of evergreen, and we talked about what is evergreen. And as quite rightly said, we are overwhelmed, we're burnt out because we're doing, and we are doing less of the things that we want to do in our business, i.e., deliver to clients, but quite often we spend a lot of time doing all the marketing and reinventing ourselves. And we don't want that, right? So it's really about thinking, how can we automate some of the things? How can we simplify? How can we think about evergreening, like using assets again that we're creating? So today I want you to think about evergreen offers, basically. So it's like, even if you already have an offer right now, that's absolutely fine. It's like, how do you take that offer to the next level? Number one, so that it sells. And then number two, how do you make it evergreen? Because quite often we may think, okay, we've got a cohort, we've got a group program, or we've got one-to-ones, and I don't know how to evergreen this. So I'm going to actually bring in those components that you can really think about. What are the things you can put in place to actually do all the heavy lifting for you, right? Because there's a lot of things we can prepare already. We don't have to redo it over and over. So from my experience, my first mastermind, I hosted like a group version in 2018. I remember that because I had a lot of one-to-one clients and I decided I'm just at capacity and I needed to create a group. And obviously I was worried because the one-to-one clients got a lot of touch point and I thought, okay, everyone has different problems, it's not going to work. But then I did realize there is a red thread, and everyone asked me the same sort of questions. So I created a core curriculum, and that allowed me for it to make it a group. But what I did is I made a cohort. So it started at a particular date and it finished at a particular date. So it was a 90-day cohort. And so these are the iterations that we may go through. And then we think, all right, so what would this look like if I had an evergreen enrollment? What would be the advantages and the disadvantages? Obviously, if there are modules to go through, I might be worried that some people might already be on module 8 and some people start on module 1. So I want to help you think through this because it does work. There are ways to create an evergreen enrollment. And of course, there are drawbacks because when you're doing these open close cohorts, for example, then it creates a bit of vacuum. It creates that momentum that people say, okay, I need to jump in now because she's going to start the program on the 1st of February and things like that. So again, there are things we can do around that. And then with the launches, we can also think about, well, how do we not get ourselves into this pressure of having to launch and fill up that group program or whatever program we're running? It could be even a digital program, obviously, if it's a pre-recorded you want to sell, but it's the same pressure. So how can we keep it open, but still have the advantages of creating some sort of urgency so that they want to enroll now, like now is the time, okay? So that's what we want to talk about today. So the features, I kind of already said some of these features. I think I was already kind of thinking about these. So number one, we've got automation. So when you think about, okay, what are the things that I'm consistently doing over and over again, and it makes sense just to standardize and to automate some of this, like for example, a welcome email. So what's the customer journey? When they enroll, what information do they need? And how are they going to get this? So I think it's quite exhausting when we are like, oh, now I have to write an email or I have to write a document. So we can prepare the documents and make it ready, maybe just insert their names or the dates, whatever there needs to be, if any customizations. We've got the bulk in place, or we have a complete automated system, as in like they pay, and then there is a trigger that sends them an invoice and then a next step email. And the next step could be, and this is something you might want to think about, what is the first step? How do I best create the best experience for my clients when they enroll? What is it that they need? Maybe they get access to some resources. Maybe you send them a video. Maybe you invite them to a one-to-one onboarding call. Maybe you also send them some documents like a contract, right? So these are all things I want to think about in terms of resources, templates, and onboarding. Oh, there's a bit of a typo there, just see it. Then people can join anytime. So I said about that we need to think about evergreen delivery structures, and the fact that if someone's already on module 8 and someone comes in module 1, how is that going to work? And it depends on what you deliver and how you're delivering things. Sometimes it is a little bit too tough to think about this because there are some fundamental learnings that they have to go through before they, understand. But if those modules are pre-prepared and there is a pathway, maybe there's even a quick start, like a 7-day quick start. Actually, I'm going to show you my community afterwards. Make sure, because there are a lot of resources in there and people could get overwhelmed. How do I make sure that they are getting sort of fast track onboarding experience, and how does that work in terms of evergreen onboarding? So that would be a really great example that I can show you. And then the scalability. So how do I increase the students and of course keep the results or even get better and better results, because we're also thinking about optimizing. Because one of the things we talked about yesterday was how do we optimize? How do we take the data and the feedback and make it even better? And of course increase the result if possible, right? And without adding more time to our time, because we've got to obviously be also careful in terms of how much time we dedicate, or what's the balance in terms of the delivery. As I said yesterday, sometimes if we just add features like I give you one-to-one feedback, then this may take a lot of strain. Once you have 1,000 students, it will be very hard to do. So just be mindful when you are creating your offers around those features. Okay, so let's go into the first part, automation. So what can we automate? We can pre-record a resource library. So it could be like resources like, just general information, education, modules, you name it, right? We can have workbooks, we can have templates. Like in my business, quite often people have challenges around Canva templates. Like, how do I create slides? How do I create um, launch a launch plan? How do I create visuals for my launch? Okay, don't worry, I have all the templates ready. So I have a whole template library that I can give to clients. So it helps with the heavy lifting. So really think about that. These are all things that can be automated. You don't have to spend any time. A quick start challenge. So this is what I have in my school community. It's a 7-day challenge, and every day they do something else. So they have a task to do, and then I have a email that. So basically, when they're on board, they're in this email list, and then every day they get an email and say, "Hey, welcome." And then this is day 1. Click here to access the resources for today, and it's like a 20-minute task, right? And then every day it just gives them something to do to really get onboarded quickly and get some quick. And then onboarding documents, I said, perhaps you have a contract. You might want to obviously think about things like that in terms of what's included, what's not included, how do you best get support, how do you get feedback, how do you use, if you have a community, here are the resources, things like that, right? So we want to have a document that outlines all of this. And then obviously community, you want to onboard them if you have a Facebook group or a school group, or you have access to a member vault or any sort of resources inside a membership. Okay, so these are all things we can automate. It's just there. And it just makes our life and the new members' life easy as well, our clients' lives easier. So the enrollment. Now, the evergreen enrollment notion. clients can enroll anytime. So no cohort, timetable, it doesn't matter. So let's think about this. When we create pre-recorded modules, this is possible. Um, and when I say pre-recorded, I'm very, very careful because I don't like when people already pre-record over months. It takes a lot of time and energy, and it may waste time because you may not be able to then sell that course. So my thinking is always offer some like a beta program or put it out there and say, hey, I'm running this live for the first time and I'm recording it. And I want to get the feedback from the people that are going through this at the same time. So this way you're not sort of wasting a lot of time somewhere recording it in your office for months and not having that interaction. That would be the better way, in my opinion. Once it's recorded, maybe you want to run it again live. So that's brilliant. So people can come in live again because obviously, depending obviously what level of group pricing and things like this you've got, you may have, I'm not talking about just purely digital programs right now. Those are the ones people would consume. I'm talking about middle or high ticket offer now, where perhaps you have more some sort of one-to-one conversation with your clients or in a group where you hop on a Zoom and you're doing some live interaction. So then you have a hybrid, you have something that's pre-recorded, they can already watch and already do. And then maybe you could run this again, or you have new material when they come in to the live sessions. So the way I used to run my masterminds when I started 2018, that particular one, I was always running the same stuff, was running for about 2 years, and then I started to change things up. For those 2 years, I had people coming in. Some people were in module 8, then that person started module 1, but they were learning from each other. And I always would point back to the resources in the resource library and say, yeah, that's actually found in module 2. So when you're there, then obviously let's have a conversation. But then every live call I did, I would pick out a section. Okay, let's go through that section in module 1 again. And then even the people who were in module 8, they had a refresher and then had a new angle and new ideas. So you could actually bring in topics as and when again and cycle it over however many weeks you have in the program. Okay, so if you had a 90-day program, it is like a 12-week thing, like 12 modules. You could go through that um, and just have like 20-minute kind of talk and a refresher. Obviously, the first time round, you would do the entire training, you would record it, then put it into um, your library. And then when you run it again, you could start with module 1 again and sort of pull out highlights from the module 1. And then week 2 would be module 2 again and things like that. So week worked really well. I've not only done this myself, but I've also been on the receiving end. I was a bit skeptical in the beginning. I thought, okay, well, that's going to be a repetition. But actually, no, because quite often people didn't even finish module 2, and it was just good timing because I was live. I know I had this in my diary. I would turn up, and it was just perfect. And then we had a discussion, a roundtable discussion with other participants. So this can work really, really well. I talked about the quick start quest, regular calls, obviously, again, for higher ticket offers, and perhaps community threads where they can ask questions. But these are all ideas in terms of how can you deliver a program effectively. And then the scale, like create a model that can scale and creates time freedom for you and also has all the components to help clients get best results. So a little bit detail around each of them now. Well, firstly, I just want to say evergreen offers don't work. Well, this could be a myth. I just wanted to say you can see how I've changed the format. So what was this? Oh, I didn't even put that in there. No, actually, it does work. And I just give you some examples around that, right? So there we go. We can craft irresistible offers and speak directly to your client's needs, position as your sales queen in your niche, right? So why most offers fail. Before we go into more detail, I just want to say 3 things. Sometimes we're too generic. offer like specific uh, detail and research. And this is the problem where so many people are out there offering similar things. We got to be very specific. So where do we start? Obviously, yes, we want to know the pain points. Everybody does the custom avatar, right? Pain points. And we want to make sure we match the pain points with the audience. Now, one thing I would like to say is I do a lot of offer reviews, and it's very, very shallow. And I also get a lot of speakers coming into my school community. They give me a title of the program or the and I'm thinking, I don't know what I'm going to get out of this. I don't know what the benefits are of actually sitting through this talk. So really, when you have a program title, really think about, would someone else want to come and learn about this? And will it really truly benefit? And is it something that they need right now in their lives? And if not, then how can I communicate it that they do need it right now? Right? So if it's sunny, I'm not going to buy an umbrella, but maybe if you communicate, well, actually, UV rays are very bad for your skin and you need this particular umbrella every single day, regardless, even when you're indoors, I would probably buy it, right? I'm not saying we should be lying, but just really think about the pressing, urgent issues that your audience has. Yeah. So, and here are the 4 pillars of the offer alchemy. So I already mentioned, we need to solve a major pain point. We want to address a specific problem with your clients, and they need to be very desperate to fix this. So really, really think about it. And if you are stuck, you can use ChatGPT, and then you can even put this in. Say, these are the 4 things I want, like a checklist. I want you to help me brainstorm titles and formats according to all of these things. Of course, it has to align with the desires of the audience, their dreams, and speak to their dreams and aspirations. And one thing I also realize is sometimes we lead with pain points, and everyone says, "Oh yeah, are you struggling with this and you're struggling with that?" And I'm thinking, okay, if I keep on talking negatively on social media about the struggles, I will attract a lot of people who have a lot of problems. I'd rather attract people who have aspirations and dreams and they want to go there. They want to create these evergreen offers and these evergreen systems, and they, love to coach, and they're in the right place and they have all these dreams and they know it's possible. I rather attract those kinds of people rather than the people who are moaning and like, yeah, I can't do this and this is not working and my marketing's not working and my message was not working and all that. So I'm not even messaging anymore around this. So again, it may be something to consider, to think, how do I message so that I do attract the exactly right people so I can speak to their dreams and aspirations and give them hope and really lift them up in my communication. And that's what you would do in terms of when you're creating your offers, when you're presenting your offers as well. And of course, you want to position yourself as an expert, clearly shows you how you're the best person to help them. You know, I talk about my experiences. I'm very open in terms of this is what I've done. I've deleted 85 funnels 2 years ago because I was overwhelmed. I couldn't manage my business anymore. And this is why now I'm talking about this evergreen notion where we are thinking about how can we reutilize things that we're creating over and over again, keeping things very simple, automate, and so that we have more time and energy to actually be with our clients and really do the work that we love doing so that we reduce the marketing. I would say I used to do 80% of marketing. Now I've reduced it right down. It's not quite where I like it to be. It's still at sort of 40, 50%. I really just want it to be 20% because once things are like your assets are up and running and you know it's working, you can just put it out there. It's like kind of autopilot. You can just pick up that workshop from your shelf and you can just run with it. Like this 4-day quest, This one I've created from scratch. Yeah, because I'm very creative. I love doing new things. I love showing up live myself. So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite in that sense. But yes, now I can take the recording and put it on Evergreen. I can then put the replays out there. Yes, I can maybe improve now and then maybe run it on a quarterly basis. So this is how I'm thinking about these evergreen assets, even down to a challenge or a webinar that you can then run on an ongoing basis. Yeah. And you really want your offers to align with your business map. That's why we did this yesterday, this reflection piece as to how do I want to run my business. Now, it would be not a good idea to actually create an offer around, um, you know, around your values that doesn't match. So it's really what is the best vehicle for you that is fun, sustainable, and consistent, I should say, right? So there is a little exercise in the workbook, and I'm going to post the workbook in a second as well. We've got a few more ladies joining, so welcome. Really pleased to have you. There is a workbook. Let me just pop it or forget. Um, and yeah, you love that, Osha. Yeah, get people who I can give hope. They can lose weight and get healthy again. Yeah, exactly. Hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we are here because we want to give something. We want to change the world. So let's message it in this way, in this beautiful way, right? So now just go back. The last point, pillar number 4, aligns with your business map. How do I know this aligns with my business map? So I have a little um, uh, exercise inside the workbook. I'll probably pull up the workbook afterwards as well and show you what that is. I created a little table for you so that you can put some scores in. Okay, so you list your current offers, what you're currently selling, or maybe even future offers that you're thinking about. And that's great because it helped you think through the new offers. And then we score them against the categories. So categories, ease of creation, like how much time, energy will it take for me to create it? For example, if I created a this quest, I know I have 4 days, and each day I have about 20 PowerPoint slides and a workbook and a registration page and emails, and even I'm using Messenger, Facebook Messenger. So there's tools and things that you like look at, okay, this is complex, really not easy to implement. Whereas if I create a networking event where I don't have to present, it's literally I invite people in and I just host it, right? So all I need is an introduction, and maybe I need um, a Facebook event and a LinkedIn event, but I can just put my Zoom link there. It's very easy, right? So that's what I mean, ease of creation. Then ease of delivery. Again, ease of delivery quest is a little bit harder, but for me, it's very, very fun. So it would score very highly on the fun. Um, then scalability. I think this is very scalable. I could have maybe up to 1,000 people in this Zoom room. Wouldn't be a problem at all. And impact and income. So again, um, I think a Quest has a fantastic high impact, whereas maybe if I have a $7 checklist someone downloads, they may never really look at it. So I think the impact of a Quest or one-to-one session may be higher, and the income may be higher as well when you have like a higher sort of paid program. Okay, so these are all the things you might want to consider. You use a score 1 to 10, 1 is least and 10 is the highest, and then you add the categories in. I will show you how to do this because it's basically a table. You list all of these and then you make a summary across, and it has a little bit of instruction as to, okay, now you've got the score, what does that mean? Okay, so obviously you want to pick the ones that has the highest score and just focus on those ones, because quite often we end up with so many different programs or ideas and we don't know yet where to start. And I think we just have to start with the one that makes most sense for us in terms of how we want to run this business and also create the most amount of impact, income, and have ease and fun as well in terms of making it, creating it, and delivering. Okay, so we also want to become very specific. Obviously, when we make a very generic offer, too broad of an appeal, there is a very low conversion. So if you're not very clear as to who the audience is and what it's going to do to them, then then obviously it's a lower conversion. Now, there's so many business coaches out there, including myself, and I think a few of you as well. So what is it that I would do differently? So this is why I'm really thinking evergreen and really moving away from preaching the same old things that other people are preaching. So it's really providing shortcuts. Literally what I was talking about today, I have templated everything and I can give that in my programs. I actually they get the whole system, right? So how can you create something that people can just get a shortcut from? Like it's very niche focused as well. Really get better results and personalized solution as well, because you want to address specific needs to get a higher conversion and also higher results. Higher results would actually mean that you'll get more referrals from people, right? When they like what you've got, they got results. Like my programs, they all have like tangible assets that, like you would walk away with a whole system, with a landing page, with the emails, with the launch assets, with the webinar slide deck. So this is very, very tangible. So I know it's not easy in some of the other areas that you're working at. Obviously, weight loss is tangible for sure. Gosha, there's obviously, you know, it's really thinking through what have they already done, tried, and hasn't worked for them, and they don't want to go back there again. They don't want to be suffering again in that sense, and it hasn't worked, and they've been burnt, right? A lot of people have been burnt by trying other programs. So really think about this. And this is where you're creating a winning offer that is different from all the other things that are out there, because we have a deep understanding of where our clients have been scarred before, right? So, of course, we start with the pain points. We want to research and understand the audience struggles, and we want to develop the solution addressing these pain points, and then also highlight the benefits. So these are naturally the steps. But as I said, go deep. Don't stay on the surface level. And if we have time tomorrow, I'd be very happy to review some of your offers. If you want me to have a review in the beginning, we have like 5-10 minutes where we can walk through the workbook and we can look over it. Very happy to do that. Of course, I can also show you how to utilize AI tools to help you improve and sort of the prompts you could be using to really specify a little bit deeper. Like this morning, uh, I was working on some standard operating procedures with my VA, basically how to onboard new clients, and we wanted to create some new emails and things like this. And then I went into ChatGPT and it says boring emails, and I'm like, sorry, these are not good enough. So I actually created a prompt that made it really tap into emotions, into their dreams and desires, and really brought out some examples and some stories. And it just was so much more connecting, the whole copy. And I said, okay, now give me a new title, right? So you could do it that way as well and just get some ideas. But really be critical and dig deep. So I just wanted to put a little bit about pricing in here because I did talk about, higher ticket, mid ticket, lower ticket. Um, there's no right or wrong in essence. Again, when you do your matrix, you want to see, okay, what's the best vehicle for me? Do I want to sell $7 items? Well, if I want to make 10K, how many do I need to sell? Right? you see it's going to be very much harder because you need many more clients to achieve your goal. So you want to really keep that in mind. Obviously, there's a bit of a journey because some people may not jump into a 10K program if they just met you like yesterday. They're not going to marry you like today. Maybe they need something smaller, something more digestible to see how you're delivering, what you can offer, and so you build that up. So this is why maybe something lower in the beginning, maybe great, or something free like what I'm doing this week, like the quest, and then build it up, right? Of course, there are market rates as well. So understand what is the landscape in your niche, what are other um, similar people doing, but obviously you are you. When you create an offer that isn't out there, then you can price it whatever you want in theory, right? But yeah, if you have nothing to go off, then obviously go and do some market research, calculate your value. I mean, we have so much experience, right? I'm sure you all have some sort of certification. You've gone through your own challenges. You've learned. I mean, it's even hard to put a price on your value. But I think I put this in there because quite often we undervalue ourselves and we maybe discount and we reduce ourselves. Actually, no, let's stand in our power. Let's realize, and even if you journal around this, heck, I've got like 20 years of coaching experience. The first 15 years was in corporate. I was working with leaders and I was saving millions of pounds and dollars across the globe with really large organizations. And then I stepped into about 10, 12 years ago into doing this and building my own business. And I've built many different businesses also together with my husband. So these are all things I have um, amassed, right, in terms of the expertise and results delivered. And even if you're just starting your entrepreneurial journey now, well, you have stuff that you have done previously in another job or wherever you were previously. Think about that. So don't devalue yourself, especially we as women. I think we overthink a lot and we have this imposter syndrome, and it feels like, I've worked with a lot of men in my past, and I know deep down, I know that the quality of stuff that I delivered was much higher, but then they were shouting from the rooftop, whereas I was always quiet in the background. I'm like, yeah, yeah, I always want the work to do my talk. I don't want to shout around too much. But so remember that we're all we're worthy of demanding um an appropriate price point. Okay. I just want to check in. Are you still with me? Just maybe give me a quick yes or a nod, thumbs up. Okay, yeah, because I know it can be quite a lot of information and overwhelming as well. And um, yeah, a lot to think about, I think. So, one other thing we need to do is obviously creating urgency and genuine scarcity. Now, I'm not a big believer of the scarcity and people shouting, uh, I don't know, like you have like 1 hour to sign up, otherwise it's gonna go away and your life is all wasted or whatever, right? I don't like these kinds of things. So when we think urgency, I was thinking, yeah, actually, how can we create urgency if this enrollment is always open and we're always doing the same sort of thing? Like, what is this urgency? Well, actually, we can put this urgency and scarcity into our offers. Number one, we don't want to fake this urgency and scarcity around offers, because if we do a group program and we say, oh, we've only got 3 spots left, well, do we really? If this Zoom room can hold up to 1,000, okay, if you offer one-to-one sessions, obviously your capacity is gone. But say you had a digital program, is there only 3 spots? Often people do that. I don't like it. It's obviously up to you if you want to do that. I don't think it's very authentic, especially nowadays when everybody knows it's a webinar, it's something digital, it may be group thing, or it's pre-recorded, or it's on Facebook, right? I don't think we need this. But what we do want to do is we want to think about how this fits with the notion of evergreen. So how can we do this? we can add additional bonuses for enrollment from a webinar. So if you want to say, okay, I'm doing a webinar once a month, and obviously I want people to enroll. I don't want them to wait another 3 months and then procrastinate, and maybe they're not going to do it, right? So we want to maybe add that specific bonus, which is only available right now. And that is authentic. You might want to have open and close windows. Still, although it's evergreen, you can wait. It can work with a wait list, for example. If you say, well, once a month, I open and close my enrollment. So in that week 2 of the month or week 3, whatever it may be, I decide to do a webinar, or I decide to do a challenge, or I decide to do um, a Facebook Live. If you don't feel like, hey, I want to do a big webinar, it's not everyone's cup of tea either. And you might want to do a Facebook Live or a LinkedIn Live, where you do some sort of launch activity. But again, with Evergreen, you've already got the assets. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about visibility and how to create the assets and how to store the assets so that you have them available all the time. So you don't have to recreate and rethink and put in more time, energy, work again. Okay. So you could open and close and say, well, actually, this week only, I have my membership open or the enrollment for this program open. And then it will close again for some time. I don't know when I'm going to open it again. So that will also create some urgency. We want to highlight perhaps the cost of inaction and not getting the support. This is always great. Well, if you waited another 3 months and you were not to implement the evergreen strategies I just told you about, what would that do to your business? Would you lose time, money? Maybe you could have had more customers in that time. Maybe you could have had less headache, saved already time. You already would be there in terms of having all your assets ready. Yeah. So what's that for you in your business in terms of what are they going to lose out if they're not taking action, or if they're waiting and thinking about it and procrastinating, right? Maybe there are price increases coming up. Every so often, everyone ups their prices. So, okay, next time I open this program, I cannot guarantee it's at this particular price point again. That creates urgency. Maybe you want to run for a new program, a beta program, which is like a first version of it. So you could say, this is the first version, I'm doing it live. You can enroll now. I'm going to give you 50% or 7%, whatever discount, because next time I run it, then the kinks will be ironed out. It will be much more perfect. All the assets will be, already there. Now this time round, I'm creating it with you as we go along. But the advantage is that I'm getting the feedback from you, and I will create and whatever you want me to create for you, and you have also much more time with me. So those are the things you might want to think about when running a beta program and what that entails. And then obviously there's also an option around early bird, right? So although we start on the 1st of March, if you enroll now, then throughout February, you will already have access to the community. We have a fast track onboarding call happening on the 15th of February, right? So you want to think about things like that as well. That will create genuine urgency. And yeah, and that feels like fair, I think. Yeah. Are we good? Does that make sense? Yeah. Good. So, what are the next steps? So overall, we want to define obviously the offer. We need to craft something that's specific, pain solving. Want to set the pricing, position yourself as maybe a high value expert. Yes, you might have lower things as well, but you are a high value expert with all the experiences that you have. Really mindset wise, just step into this, right? Then we want to create urgency. So we want to add urgency and scarcity elements to drive action. I think regardless, even if we are on this evergreen cycle, we want to drive action, but not fake things, right? We don't want to fake it. We want to make it very genuine. So look, I'll give you this bonus or this price and so on, right? And then tomorrow we want to prepare for visibility. So we get ready to showcase your offer, get out there, and on Friday we're going to launch it. So task day 2 is go through the workbook, giving you the link, and I'm going to actually just open it up so that you know what we're doing. And then, yeah, tomorrow we'll be all talking about the visibility as to how do we show up, how do you create content. And again, we're always thinking about this evergreen. How can we repurpose, reutilize? What are the tools we can use as well? So 2 things I want to show you today. And if you have questions, pop them in the chat, or in a couple of minutes, we can also unmute. Firstly, I would like to share the workbook, and then I'm going to go into my school community and I want to show you how that's set up and give you some ideas around the onboarding things that I was talking about. So the workbook, it is quite comprehensive, I realize, but there's a lot of questions in there. And it will really, really go into a lot of detail in helping you scope those offers. So can you see my workbook? I'm just scrolling through it. Yeah. Okay, good. I've just one thing I want to highlight is actually the first exercise. So on the left, you will see all the different sections. You can go through that. And yeah, it's the first thing really is to list your current offers. This is what I meant. I created a little table here. You can easily just sort of over type it. So firstly, always come here, file, make a copy. That's always the first thing. Otherwise, you won't have access to it. Okay. You want to have your own copy, and then you can edit it. So yeah, just put your program in here. I mean, I put a little example here. So for example, this is my program. It's £100 in terms of the price point. Yeah. So it's a group delivery. What's my income? Maybe I would rate it 5, maybe even lower. So out of 10, right? It's 100 is maybe takes a lot of, if my goal is at 10,000, I need like 100 people, right? Enrolling into my program. There's quite a lot. Whereas if this program was 10,000, then the income would be like 10 out of 10. The impact may be 10, right? Whatever that is, think about it. Okay, what's the impact on my client? How are they, the results that it's driving? How is that? So if I said I had a $7 ebook, the delivery would be ebook. The income is really low. It's 1. The impact may also be very low because it's just an ebook. It's not really, it's going to get them started perhaps, but it's not really going to help with the entire transformation. Whereas if they were to join your 12-week program where you sit with them every week on Zoom and you give them all the tools, then the impact is much higher. Then what's the fun? I mean, I guess the fun, you create the ebook, it may be fun to create it, and then you're not involved anymore. So for me, that's not that much fun anymore with the delivery because people are just downloading it. It's great for passive income and for passive things, but I just love to hang out with people, having conversations. That's really when I light up. And so from my perspective, the fun of an ebook would be quite low. Creating it would be a lot of fun for me because I love to create stuff, but then I'm not involved anymore with delivery. Ease, that could be 10 because an ebook, it's very easy. And then it's very easy in terms of scalability because you could have 1,000 people downloading that ebook. You don't have to put any more time into that, right? And then you have a total score. So once you have a couple of these programs listed, and then maybe a new, maybe currently have, maybe I can add plus new ideas. Why not? Right? And you can say, oh, these are my current ones, and then you can say, oh, these are new ones I'm thinking about. If you are knowledgeable about Google Docs, you could somehow insert a row as well when you right click on this. So you're not restricted. Currently having new ideas. Yeah. Does that make sense? I think that's a really brilliant kind of first step. Even if we just do this for tomorrow, I'd be very, very happy. And then see what your insights were. Obviously, the workbook is very long. It gives you a bit more sort of ideas around what are the key components, what's the question we're going to ask ourselves for each of the elements. Okay, so scalability, fun, impact, and then what to do with the score. Okay, and how to read it. Yeah, and then I just really have put some questions together for you to analyze all the other components that I was talking about, the power of specificity, yeah, specific, and how to really think about this. So giving you examples as well. So these could be just some sort of shorter statements. Um, okay, healthy weight loss, yeah. I did provide a template, like a workbook from yesterday as well. Do you mean that, Gosha?
No, I'm asking if you provided some templates which we can use for making our stuff. Yes, like using your templates from Canva, or you didn't provide anything which we can use and adapt to our needs. I don't know if I'm
Or
explaining myself
um,
clearly. I'm asking if you provided any template which I can go and I can adapt to my business, or no. I'm not
um,
asking if I want, if we will have it, only I want to know if you provide it and I'm
oh,
missing.
no, I just provided the workbook.
Okay.
Um, I mean, there's so many templates that I have a whole template bundle, um, which is part of my paid program. Obviously, there are templates for like slides. There's templates for the launches for Instagram posts, for Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, templates for contracts as well. Um, yeah, I can show you the template wall as well if you're interested. Obviously, tomorrow I'll talk a little bit more about you know those things, and if you did want any support from me, how that could work as well. So I'll bring along some of the template ideas as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then school. I just wanted to show you my uh, first I have first membership. This is one of the memberships that I have. This is for corporate professionals, and what we have is a classroom of a lot of stuff, right? So we have a lot of different talks in here. And what I wanted to do is like a better onboarding experience. So what I did is I created a 7-day quest, right? And what I did is every day they have a small task. So it's almost like a little challenge. And I have like a welcome area and sharing screen. This is how to use this facility, where to find information, where to ask questions and things like this as well. What we're going to be achieving together and what steps are. This is an example of how you could utilize a community and classroom. Like I also have a start here. I personally, I love school. I don't use it as a social media tool because obviously a lot of people are skeptical moving yet to another platform, but I'm using it as a kind of where I host my paid things. And I love it because you can tag different instructions on the bottom, and have conversations, Q&As, and things like that as well. So um, it's a really great tool where we have the community conversations, we have the classroom where all the replays are going in, and then a calendar. So I also have, as you can see here, I have a get started happy hour that happens every 2 weeks. So I'm on a Zoom call, and people can join me and just ask me questions about the membership, and we can have a discussion. What are they looking for? Because there's so many resources in there. And then we have other things like new talks happening, and it's all integrated in one sort of area. So that's a way to deliver a program.
How much does it cost, Sabine? This
This one's $99 a month. So yeah, it's not cheap. It's not expensive either. Um, but it's very easy to use. I love it because I really don't like complicated tools. Like, for example, if you're not technical at all, you can just create a new page by clicking new page, and I can put in an example. And what I could do is, let me go to YouTube, put in a video. Maybe I can say if I wanted to create a replay page from yesterday, I can do it in school. So this is the link from yesterday's session, and put it in here and say I wanted to put the workbook underneath. I will make sure I get a link, copy, and then say download.
Yes, so I understand that, but what I can't understand. So what the platform does, if let's say I engaged with this platform and I started to pay $99 per month,
Month, yeah.
what it will give me, Sabine? It will give me opportunity to have a place in the internet where I can put my stuff, my
Yep.
offers, and interact with people who might share my offers or might be interested even by themselves, or this is not working like that.
Yeah, it's not like there is a possibility to use it as a social media platform. But I'm more or less, this is like a paid membership. Yeah. So it's like a monthly paid thing, low end, monthly. You can also have a higher end ticket offer here as well. So they could maybe you could charge 500 a month, for example. You can use it instead of Kajabi or ClickFunnels, any sort of member vault, you could use this. But if you just get started, maybe it doesn't make sense to pay the 99. Maybe
Yes.
then you want to use Facebook because it has similar capabilities in terms of the
Mhm.
community. It has obviously you can post and then you can create guides inside a Facebook group as well. Um, I chose it um, because I've found that Facebook is not ideal for how I want the content to look and
Mhm.
feel. And because this is, you know, it's much easier for me. And also when I create a post, I can say I select a category. Okay, I type something here, title. I can now switch this little switch and I can send an email to all members. See, this is the brilliant thing because on Facebook, a lot of people don't get the notifications anymore. They don't see what's happening in the group. And then they may just cancel because they paid for some subscription. The other version, I used to have also membership in other places like MemberVault. There's Kajabi, there's Kartra, ClickFunnels, DriveCart, all of these places. For me, I know actually I'm quite good with technology, but I still found it more complex than this.
Okay.
And then I find somehow I'm in this space on my own, trying to learn something, and I don't have an interaction, or I have to go into some other place again to find answers or ask questions. Or also with the calendar when I'm doing live events, obviously you have to have the communication attached to it. So for me, this was a nice solution to have everything in one platform. So I have
Okay.
the community, the calendar with all the call links, and then all the replays are just in one place, and it felt
Okay.
more easy. Yeah,
And which means we can put our courses there. So let's say if I made what I asked
yeah,
yesterday, if I made my workshop next week about fermented cabbage and explain how the program, 1 month program will work, I
yeah,
can put it there and then set to send information to my posts on LinkedIn or Facebook. Yes.
yeah. There's a strategy around this.
Yes,
Like
because I
for
still can't
example,
understand how it will help me. So the
mhm,
workshop, the fermented cabbage workshop will be sitting there, let's say, yes?
yeah, you could put
And
it in
then,
there. So
yes,
here,
and yes, and then I have to have some link
yes,
to this. So I will have link.
Hmm.
And then I can give people, I can send for you, for example, to you, Lingen, to say, Sabine, would you like to learn how to make fermented cabbage?
Yeah.
Yes, and then watch first of all my workshop, and if you are happy, you might buy my 1 month program where you will learn all the steps how to make for yourself fermented cabbage and other fermented foods and why this is important. Is it how
Yeah.
it works?
Yes, you could do it that way. You could have it as a free group. People can come in for free, or you can set it up as a trial. So you can do a 7-day trial. So there's different strategies around how do you then acquire paid members. So there's different versions, different models you can
Okay. Do
run.
they have very good help if I wanted to join? Is there any good help that
Yeah,
they will tell me what I need?
yeah, absolutely. So I have an affiliate link for school if you wanted to test it. It's for 14 days, it's free. And that particular link will enroll you into the school community where they have a lot of training.
I'm
Even
already there,
better,
Sabine. I'm already there for probably the whole year already, but I never used it because I
there's another
understand
one.
what it would be for.
Hang on. There's another one. It's the school games. So if you don't have an active subscription, you will not be able to be in here because every week they actually give you strategies. And Alex Hormozy, who is the
Mhm.
co-owner, he actually does like a live Q&A call, and that is really, really helpful.
Okay, so you really, if I would be
Hmm.
thinking about having some tool where I can put my courses,
Yep,
because obviously the course will be on YouTube. Yes, so the videos will be on YouTube, or
yep,
everything will be in this school. No, I have to have videos on
yeah.
YouTube.
The videos would be on YouTube or on Vimeo. Obviously, Vimeo is a paid platform, but YouTube is the free version. Um,
And my workbooks will be on my files, let's say
yeah.
in Google Doc.
It would be on a Google Doc. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then
And you
I
just
will be
collect them.
only
Hmm.
give put in what I want. But this the last thing which I want to ask about it. Do we sell on this school platform?
Yeah. So basically, it's a membership. So you can sell a membership, like a monthly paid membership. Okay.
Only members.
Um,
I can't sell just product. No.
mm, no, it's not a one-off. It's not a one-off product. Actually,
Okay.
there is. Sorry, inside. Once they're inside, you can log. I'll show you. Actually, I'm just going to pop the school games link. I
Yes,
think
this
this is
is
the
quite
trial one.
complicated, everything. Do you know everything
Yeah,
feels easy, but actually, if you don't put mind in
yeah.
understanding the platforms, they are useless. So
Hmm.
without understanding what this is for, how it can help me, this is
It
everything
it
useless.
depends what you want. Yeah, if you want to create a community and you have live events and it makes sense, then maybe school is the platform.
Mhm.
If you are just starting off and you want to have just like digital programs, maybe then it doesn't make sense. Then, there are other even free tools like a Wix website with the e-commerce plugin. You can then sell a one-off something, or on Thrivecard, you can also sell one-off stuff, and of course Kajabi and things like that. Um, there is a way to purchase within school, but I think school is really the angle of creating a membership, a paid
Okay.
membership as a first sort of entry point, a low end entry point, and then within the classroom, I'll just see if I can find an example.
Okay, which means you made there your membership.
Hmm. Exactly. I made my mind. Yeah.
If I wanted to join your membership on this school platform,
Yes.
I go there. I'm looking for Sabine Mataru, and I'm
Uh,
saying I want to pay for membership for being
yeah.
in your membership program. Can I ask how much it is?
Yeah. I'll show you again, $33 a month for that one. I
Okay.
just wanted to quickly go in here because I found a school group where they have private courses in here, and you can unlock those with additional payments. But you have to be in the school group. You could also have a free school group And you can then have your courses in there where they can purchase it. That's also an option. So when
Okay.
you go in here, then obviously, I don't know if there's a payment, should be a payment button. Oh, this is just a private course, but that's fine. Some people have like courses you can purchase, and there's just a setting inside. So you set it up, and then you say, okay, this is like a one-time purchase, and you give it like a price point, and then people can. So some of these things are already unlocked for me in this group, and then when I scroll down, there's other courses that I can purchase.
Okay. So
Yeah,
I
with
could
mine.
put, yes, so I could put here my course, fermented cabbage, and you could buy that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could make this a free group as well, and then people go in there and they can purchase it
And I could
from
make
within.
live event there also, my
Yeah.
ferment.
Ye-
But if I have Zoom, then is no need
Um,
to have that one.
yeah, they would so here's the membership price. That's where it shows.
Mm.
So with the calendar, so you could book whatever course you're doing. This is yeah, in a Zoom. I put my Zoom link there. You could also use StreamYard and stream into YouTube, and then you have a YouTube link. So that means it would be more like people watching rather than being able to come into a room and have a conversation.
Okay.
So again, there's different options. Um, yeah.
Yes,
Are
this is
there
even
any?
more overwhelming to have to
But
understand more.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, I get that. I get that. It can get a little bit there's a lot, and obviously it's about finding your vehicle, your best
yes.
pathway, and mapping that out. And Blangelica, once you start playing with it, you will start creating ideas. Yeah, I love that, Blangelica. You're
Mhm.
so right. Yeah, Blangelica hopped on onto school. Um, any other questions before we go? Because I now understand we're
Okay.
10 minutes over. I don't want to take any more time in your diary. I hope everything's clear. If you have any questions, let me know now. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And I look forward to seeing your results and your thoughts about your offers and future offers. Um, and yeah, feel free to share tomorrow. All right. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
rest of your day. Take care.